Right, everybody, welcome to the Summer Rebuild, the little mini-series where we take a club that is in need of a rebuild. We're only doing this summer transfer window, so using the real-time database. I will leave a link down to that down in the description. I basically finished the season with today's team, Everton. Managed to survive relegation, and then we're going to rebuild the squad, reshape it, put a tactic in, and see how we do the following season. Alright guys, let's dive into it. What I would appreciate though is you smash a like on today's video. Also, these rebuilds are great in terms of views and interaction. However, most of you are not subscribed, so if you want to see weekly mini rebuilds, live streams, tactic recreations, this is the place to be. So you smash the subscribe button as well, and let me know down in the comments because this is really good. Next week is going to be Newcastle. I think I'm going to do one with Juventus, and then after that we've got an open book. People keep putting suggestions in. They did that on week 1 with the Manchester United video. Let me know your suggestions. Alright guys, let's get into today's rebuild with Everton. Okay, right, here we are. We're straight on. I'll tell you what, I'll show you the league finish first. We finished 16th in the end, so we finished 3 points above. We had a few... I've put in a tactic. This is the tactic that we've started with. It was actually a tactic video I did with, if I was manager of Everton, a little video series that I did at the start of FM. Put this tactic together because I thought it would kind of suit the players that they had. We're going to go with that for now, and then maybe develop it over the course of sort of like pre-season, depending on who we bring in. Now, the form, as you can see, is pretty good. We started with the Leicester defeat and then a draw at Watford. I was getting a little bit nervous, but then we shaped up with 2 really impressive home wins, an 8-0 aggregate score over Brentford and Palace, and then a 4-3 defeat. Absolutely, we could see it. We can see it. We had 2 players sent off. So we did all right, didn't we? And bearing in mind, they scored 87 and 93. We scored in 90 plus 5. It was a carnage, absolute carnage, but we were already secure by then, so it was fine. Now, have a look at the squad. There it is. Needs a lot of changes. Now, what we have done is, unfortunately, with this real-time database, there is a slight issue. Figured it out on the last week's episode with Manchester United. Even though it says it's going to give you a transfer budget, and this one, it was supposed to be about £26 million, it actually doesn't, and I ended up with nothing. So I've had to go all the way back to the start. Using the in-game editor, I have given Everton £40 million to spend. Now, I think that is a reasonable price. I think potentially they may spend more than that. We've obviously got 40 million plus any sales, and by God, do we need to make some sales. So, looking at the squad, straight away, I think there's some players that are out of contract. There is. Obviously, El Ghazi, Donny van der Beek, we're not going to renew them. Andy Lonergan, I think if Van der Beek had a little bit of an impact with go, but the system that I'm going to go through and how I'm going to recruit, I'm going to sort of like explain in a minute, he doesn't really fit the bill. Begovic as well, John Joe Kenny, Fabian Delph, and Cenk Tosun. Okay, so move them out of the squad. We've also got Moise Keane, who's away on loan for another year. Nathan Broadhead is not good enough. And then we're going to go through the squad now very, very quickly. Now, Allen, I think, is a player that hasn't done well this season, has kind of been in and out. He had that game, was it against Liverpool, with like no one successful pass, and it was from a kickoff or something. So I think he's at the edge as well, where we need to try and move on. Andros Townsend, I do want to strengthen in wide areas. We've already got Gordon Richarlison and Damari Gray, even though I'm actually quite a fan of Andros Townsend, and he does kind of well and he's done all right in Premier League, did all right for Palace. I think we could maybe get a little bit of money for him, try and bring someone in maybe a little bit younger. Tom Davies will keep just because he's homegrown. Will no doubt only be a backup there. Seamus Coleman, we are going to let him go. We're going to transfer list him because we do really need to strengthen the fullback areas. Solomon Rondon, absolutely going. Yerry Mina, definitely want to keep. Unfortunately, he's been injured a lot this season for Everton, which has been a shame. I think he came back for one of the games. I think he came back for the Chelsea game a few weeks ago and looked absolutely superb. Really led the side back there. Really got control of the back line against Chelsea. Was quite vocal. I didn't expect that from him. I didn't know how much of his language barrier would be a problem, but he looked like he was conducting things back there. So Yerry Mina would like to stay big physical presence. Doucouré, Richarlison, Pickford. Now Alex Iwobi, I think until Frank Lampard came in, it was a bit of a running joke. He actually done pretty well, and I thought he actually did all right at right back for parts of it on Sunday against Brentford. And we are going to transfer list him now because he's on a lot of money. Dele Alli. I am building my tactic around Dele Alli. We're going to try and get the best out of Dele Alli. I'm going to put things in play to get the best out of Dele Alli. Damari Gray is transfer listed. That isn't me. That's the game. So I do want him to be part of the squad because he can play both sides. Jean-Philippe Gambin, a player that was highly thought of when he came, but obviously lots of injuries. I think it's probably best if we can try and move him on. Andre Gomez, yes, another player that definitely needs to move on. He's just not, I think in an Everton side, they've struggled in midfield a little bit, and I think even though he's been okay, I think coming back from that bad leg break has definitely cost him. He's not the quickest. He's not actually the most creative player in the world as well. So I think if you can't give him much physically, then you need to be absolutely awesome on the ball. And he doesn't quite meet both criterias for that. Michael Keane needs to go. Anthony Gordon keep. Dominic Calvert-Lewin will keep. However, if a stupid bid comes in, then we may look at doing it. Depends how early it comes on as well in the transfer window. I don't want to be getting a really good bid on the August the 29th and having 2 days to replace him. So fingers crossed we can keep him. I've kind of built my tactic around having him in the squad, so fingers crossed we can keep him, but we do need a backup for him. Ben Godfrey keep. Mason Holgate keep, even though I'm hoping to really strengthen it at centre-half as well. And then Mikalenko that we'll keep as well. That gives us a really, really small squad. Now, what I'm thinking of in the tactic and what I think Everton fans would like to see is a bit of pace out wide. So we kind of have that with Gray, but I'm looking to upgrading that quality. If we get Dele Alli, we need maybe backups for Ali, maybe someone who can do a couple of these roles. Obviously, we need a backup as well for Calvert-Lewin. That's absolutely vital because I'd want to keep Richarlison out on this left-hand side. I'm going to change this to sort of like a central midfielder. My idea is that we have two players that are very physical. So maybe two Dakares, if that makes sense. Two players that can get about the pitch. Maybe one that can dribble and can drive a little bit. I have got a player in mind. He's not absolutely great in the game, but I think he would actually suit an Everton style for next season. And then we definitely need to strengthen at right back. We probably need to get another left back in as well, because there's only Mikalenko there. And then centre half's an interesting one because you've got Mina, you've got Godfrey. I'm a big fan of Godfrey. I just think the way that I'm gearing up this side is to be big, aggressive, high press, very physical, very quick. Definitely keep Godfrey as part of it, but I may look at strengthening in at centre-half, someone to go inside Mina. Obviously, we need a new right-back. I am going to bring Nathan Patterson into the squad. He's in the under-23s. I am going to bring, is it Branthwaite? The guy that got sent off yesterday. He will come into the first team as well. They will act as backups. So, we definitely need a right wing-back. We need a right winger. We don't need a shadow striker. We probably need a couple of central midfielders. One that can cover that role, and then one that can do kind of both. And inside forward, obviously, we've got Richarlison, backup striker. It's going to be very, very busy. Okay, guys, there is the tactic. That's what we're going to go with. So we're looking at pace, power, aggression. Fingers crossed we can have 40 million. So we've got 40 million to spend, plus what we get in sales. Okay, let's move on to the end of the transfer window now. We'd have started the season, so what I've done is I'm now going to play through, do the signings myself. I'm going to play through, get the tactics set up, tweak it over the sort of like the period of August, get to the transfer window, and then we'll come back and see how we have started and what signings we have made for Everton. Okay, right. First thing first, I don't want to show you the results too much, but because you'll see who we've signed and who we've let go. However, we've started this season with only one win, but we've scored 10 goals. We've just beat Sheffield United 7-1. Before that, we lost to Brighton 4-3. We then lost to Manchester United. Yes, we lost to Manchester United. Where is it? Lost to Manchester United 2-0. Drew with Arsenal 0-0. We should have beaten Arsenal 0-0 at the opening game of the season. So I'm quite happy-ish, even though we had, to be fair, the Man United result, we played okay. Could have gone either way. They kind of shaded it, but I was kind of happy with how we performed. The Brighton was a stinker, but then we bounced back. 4 players in for the remaining game before the transfer window closed, and we managed to overturn them 7-1. So things are looking good. Okay, we're going to go through the outs. Okay, so here are the noticeable outgoings of the transfers. Okay, so first of all, we let Andre Gomez go. He went to Burnley and relegated. No, they stayed up actually. It was Leeds United that got relegated. 9.25 million. I thought that was a good bit of business. Solomon Rondon when I transfer listed him, I just transfer listed him, didn't put a set price. We got 1.2 million for him, right? He had 22 bids. That's right, 22 bids came in all at once for him, and I just accepted them all. He chose Bashua, which I think is a Mexican side. One of the most interesting deals of the summer was Alan. He has gone to, as you can see, Manchester City. A nice bit of money as well. What was it? 13.25 million. Really strange. I suppose they need a little bit of a backup in real life with Fernandinho moving on. So maybe, he's not a baller, is he? He's not great at passing. It says 15 at passing. But he was at the end of his sort of he's 31, he's going to be on the down. I think players like that just haven't worked for Everton. And £13 million I thought was a decent bit of business as well. Helps us get money in for the assault on getting players in. We then had Andros Townsend has gone to Aston Villa for 10.5. Alex Iwobi went for 2.4, which is not much, is it? But it was 2.4. He was on 100 grand a week. I think in real life they could probably get a little bit more for him. I had a nice little deal set up with Southampton where it would be loan fee was about 2 million and then they would sign for 5 million. So we're going to get about 7.5 million. And unfortunately, he rejected that, but he's gone. He's out the door. Espanyol. I just took it as a hit because we need obviously to clear out the squad a little bit. Following Solomon Rondon, we've got Seamus Coleman. He has gone to Pashua as well, 725,000. Absolute legend. I just didn't want to have. I have obviously signed a right back. I didn't want to have 3 right backs at the club. And then the last one is Michael Keane. We got £925,000 loan fee for him. However, there is a mandatory fee of around 10.25 million. So loan this year, he's gone out. And then he'll stay at West Ham. They'll make it permanent. No minimum games needs to be played. He is gone. So that means in all, including the 10.25 that is kind of coming in, we've sold around £48 million. So that has given us a transfer budget of about, 80 to 85 million pounds. All right, let's get into the signings now that we have brought to Goodison Park, and hopefully then we can rebuild this old great club. The biggest one of the summer is Ismail Assar. Now, I thought, yes, they've got Damari Gray. Watford obviously got relegated, so we could get a decent price for him. There was a couple of other clubs sniffing around, your Tottenhams, your Leicesters, your Southamptons. We went in, we paid a nice little price of 19.75. I'm hoping it may take him a little bit of time to settle, but we're playing that 4-2-3-1. We moved the winger up on that right-hand side. I think he would be a really good addition to the squad, can kind of play both sides as well. So if Richarlison's injured, it can go on that side, no problem. Unfortunately, in FM22, Anthony Gordon is good, but he's not Premier League good. I think maybe in real life, when Frank Lampard does his rebuild in the summer, he will probably keep Anthony Gordon as a major part of the squad, and they probably won't look to strengthen maybe in the wide area too much. They've got Damari Gray as well, but he's not that good in FM, so I have dived in for Ismail Assar. Okay, the second biggest deal, 12.75 million. Now hear me out. This player, Seko Fofana, is an absolute baller. Unfortunately, his technicals and mentals do not give him the justice that he deserves. He's had a tremendous season with Lens in Liga. Very aggressive, very strong. He's 6'1". He loves to dribble and carry the ball. Scored a few goals. He can break things up. He's very versatile as well, as you can see. He can do loads of different roles in the midfield. Can sit in front of the back four. I think in real life term, he would be absolutely tremendous. Him and Dakare in the middle of midfield, absolutely dominating. Physical. Remember I said I wanted it aggressive, high press. I wanted players in the middle of midfield that were box to boxes, your big, strong, athletic players. He fits that bill. Unfortunately, he's not amazing in the game. He will definitely get an upgrade for FM23, I think. Coming to the peak of his age as well. But I thought it was a realistic transfer to do. And the next one in terms of value, what did we pay for him? 8.7, 8.5. 8.5. Rasmus Christiansen is in. Right back from Salzburg. He is, I think, fits the bill of what I was looking for. Once again, 6'2". Physical's pretty good, but he's definitely got that physical. He's not a small, weak fullback. We're trying to be big. We're trying to be strong. We're going to be deadly from set pieces, fingers crossed. Mental's very, very good. Aggression, determination, work rate. That sounds like what the Everton fans have been craving. Players that basically give a shit, and I'm hoping Christiansen's going to do that. But also going forward, you would have thought his defensive statistics wouldn't be. His defensive statistics would be the main thing, but it isn't. It's actually his attacking player. 16 for crossing, heading 13, Passing 13, tackling 13, so he's a very, very solid fullback. Can do a job, as you could see, in a wide variety of roles as well. But yeah, I'm looking at him being the first choice, 25 years old, and obviously we've got Nathan Patterson to be a backup. The most controversial one. Everyone had forgotten about Ross Barkley until he took a penalty on Saturday in the FA Cup final. If you're an Everton fan and you're watching this, leave your thoughts down in the comments. Would you have him back? I just remember a couple of games, a couple of goals. I'm sure he scored a goal against Arsenal once when he was right in his pomp. I think it was probably under Roberto Martinez, and he was absolutely tremendous. I got him in at a really nice deal as well, 6.75. He's in the peak of his age, dribbling 16, first touch, passing good, technique good. What I thought, he's 6'2", aggressive. What I thought he could do. I said I wanted someone as a backup to Dele Alli. I also wanted someone who could play in the midfield as well, who could do both roles. Ross Barkley can definitely do both roles. He could probably do a box-to-box. He might even then shove Dele Alli out of the way at some point. But I'm really happy to have him in. Let me know if you're an Everton fan. Would you be happy with having Ross Barkley back for what? 6.75 million. That said, if you can get him going again, I think he just needs to play. He just needs to play. Okay, and then we got three absolute bargains. The first one is Borja. We're just going to call him Borja. All right, the guy who was at Real Madrid, he was at Roma for a little bit, scored 10 goals in Serie A. We got 65 million for Calvert-Lewin, and I wanted 85. No other bids coming. It was one bid from Chelsea, 65 mil. I rejected it. I hoped they would come back. They didn't. But we got this guy in, Borja, for an absolute cut price of £2.6 million. I think he's on a little bit of an ilk. He's obviously 6 foot, not as strong physically, but tremendous mentals as well. Determination off the ball, anticipation, aggression. So we want him leading the line. First touch, 6'15", finishing 16, technique 14, advanced forward, 6 foot, moves into channels, ball into feet. Yeah. I'm happy with that. I think that's a really, really good backup. He's only going to be backup, but a really good backup for us. Calvert-Lewin, I think Everton have really struggled when Calvert-Lewin's been out injured this season. They've really struggled. Obviously, Richarlison then having to move out wide. He don't do obviously very well back to goal. It's kind of cost Everton. So having someone in of that quality will definitely help us if Calvert-Lewin has a big spell on the sidelines. And then we've strengthened at left back with Omar Richards, the guy that was at Reading and then went to Bayern Munich. We paid £1.6 million for him. I don't think we'll be able to get him that cheap in real life. It was a little bit of an FM bargain, but I think someone that may come back. I think what's he going to be in the game now? He's going to be what, 20? Well, he's going to be 24. He's 24 now. How long is he going to stay playing in sort of like the B team in Bayern, in Bayern Munich? They've got Mikolenko, obviously, but I thought he would be a really good, solid option. We're trying to go down with Richarlison cutting in as an inside forward. I do want someone who can get round the outside a little bit. We've got Omar Richards is just a little bit of a more attacking, quick, get round the outside, overlaps, a little bit of a more of a like-for-like replacement for Digne, who obviously left in January. But 1.6 million, I think, an absolute bargain. And then the last one, freebie. I'm interested to see where he goes. And I think him and Yerry Mina at centre-half would be a pretty good partnership. But unfortunately, once again, FM don't rate him. He's a 2.5 star player, but heading 16, marking 15, tackling 15, work rate, pace have got him down as 14 as well. So yeah, I don't need him to play out from the back. We're trying to get our full-backs on the ball. We're trying to get the ball through the thirds, get the ball out wide, get late runs in from the shadow striker. We're not trying to be pretty and play 50, 60 yards sort of like switches in from centre-half. I want my two centre-halves to defend. And I think James Tarkowski definitely fits that bill. Free transfer as well from Burnley. And that is the summer signings. So 7 in, and we spent around, I think it's just under £52 million. I think it's 51.75. So we've got an overall sort of like outlay there of only a couple of million. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think if this was a long-term save, I've set the squad up really well for progression over 2 and 3. So what we're going to do is now, guys, we're going to play out the rest of the season. We'll see how we're going to get on. We're not going to do any more transfers in January. I think I've got around 10 million to spend, but we're going to leave that in. I'm just going to plug it in, see what happens. Where will Everton, I think, if we're thinking 2022-23, what would Everton fans take right now? And I think they would take a top half finish. If you're thinking of the league, you've obviously got the top 6. And then we've got teams like Leicester and Brighton, West Ham, Aston Villa, who are all going to strengthen a lot in the summer. So, yeah, I think if they're in and around that, if we're in and around that mix of sort of like the Leicesters, the West Hams, I don't think we can break into the top 6, but then it sets us up really nicely. Maybe even try and grab that 7th spot for Europa Conference League football. That would be good. All right, guys, let's go and fast forward now to the end of the season. Let's see how my Everton team has done. All right, and we are back. And as you can see, we have finished 8th, which at the start of the season we'd probably take. I'm quite happy with that. 60 points, 17 wins, 9 draws, 12 defeats, only 13 goal difference. But unfortunately, Southampton have had a really, really good season. We only finished 9 off. We're kind of a good 9 or 10 points off. But I'm kind of happy with that. And in particular, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has got the golden boot. So I'm imagining we've had problems defensively. Yes, wow. We've scored 74 goals, which was the 4th most in the division. But we've let in 61, which is about mid-table, but it's still a lot. It's still a lot. It's getting on the verge of about, 1.75 average a game. So that is a lot of goals, and that has definitely cost us. However, the tactic is quite aggressive, especially in the midfield. We maybe needed someone who would just maybe a ball winner a little bit, someone on defend who's going to sit in and really just hold while the other guys sort of like gallop forward. So Everton, there you go, 8th. Dominic Calvert-Lewin on 8. Average ratings, have we got anyone in the top 20? Just Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Anyone on the assists? Player of the matches, let's do assists. Have we got anyone in assists? Dele Alli. Richarlison, 10 assists. Dele Alli, 11 assists. We will have a look at sort of like the overall squad statistics in a minute. Yellow cards. How many clean sheets did we keep? 11. We kept 11 clean sheets. Okay. Who were our defeats against? That's the one that I always look at, the defeats. There's some big gut. 4-0 Tottenham, 3-0 Brighton, 3-0 Brentford, 4-2 at Arsenal, 5-3 at Southampton, 4-2 at Chelsea, 4-2 at Villa, 5-2 at Man City, and 3-2 at West Ham. And then we followed it up with some big. There's not that many big wins in there, to be fair. There must be some big wins somewhere. 7-1 Sheffield United. We've had a 6-2 away at Wolves. We had a 5-2 at home to Newcastle, a 4-1 at home to Tottenham. Another 4-1. We love playing Wolves. We beat Liverpool in the Carabao Cup semi-final. Oh no, quarter. Where's that gone? We lost to Arsenal in the semi. How well did we actually do in the other cups? We won the Carabao Cup. We won the Carabao Cup, boys. I didn't even realise. So we'll be in Europe. I didn't even realise that. Apologies, you lot were probably shouting at the screen. We've won the bloody Carabao bloody Cup. That must be Everton's first trophy in what? How many years would that be? Since the FA Cup winning, 95? We're talking, Paul Rideout? Yeah, their first trophy for 28 years. 28 years, get in. Who did we beat in the final? By the way, their confidence. What is going on with that? We finished 8th. We finished 8th. We won the Carabao Cup. We got to the semi-final. The prediction was 14th. We finished 8th. Why on earth would they be so unhappy with how we've performed? Because we didn't qualify for Euro Cup. Do me a favour. I think Everton fans, you would take that. Let me know down in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I'm very insecure. I can't believe that. FM is doing me there. Absolutely doing me. It's all over the place. 4th round, we beat Brentford. Then we beat Hull. Obviously, Lincoln was in the 2nd round. Then Charlton. Then Brentford. Then Hull. We then beat Liverpool. We're beating Liverpool, guys. We're beating Liverpool in the semi-finals. And then a 4-3 Carabao Cup win against Southampton. I will take that. And then the FA Cup, we got through to the semis. Now, I can't believe the board, after all the shit they've had over the last few years, I've delivered. Sven-Goran Trakisen has delivered. And I'm a bit disappointed with that. FM can be funny sometimes, can't it? Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at how the players in the squad perform. Now, when I went on holiday, the only thing that I actually did do was that I put Dele Alli in the starting lineup just to make sure that we got as many games out of him as possible, just to see how he did. And as you can see, he did all right. 16 goals and 13 games. So 10 goals, 10 assists. I think Leicester, fucking hell. Everton fans, I think you would be quite happy with that return. Dele has done pretty well. I'm really chuffed with that. I wasn't expecting huge numbers. I actually thought he was really going to struggle at the start of the season. So to get, 21 goal contributions in 36 games in the Premier League, I think is a really good return for Dele. And then on the goal front, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has said 24 goals. No doubt would be probably hard to keep that this summer, regardless of us being in Europe. I think I would do everything I possibly could to keep him, but he's had a really good season. Richarlison as well, 20 goal contributions, 10 goals, 10 assists, 30 goal contributions in all competitions as well. Really happy with that. A player that I'm not too fond of. I'm getting a bit worried that Man United have been linked several times to him. I really don't want him because he fucking dives too much. But anyway, that's another story. Ishmael and the best of the rest. Ishmael Assar, 8 goals, 8 assists. Doucouré, 7 goals, 7 assists. Mina's managed to get 6 goals, 2 assists. Seko Fofana, 4 goals, 7 assists. So that's not a bad return, that. 6 assists in the Premier League, 2 goals, played 20 starts, 8 as sub. How did Ross do? Where is Ross? There he is. 1 goal, 2 assists, average rated of 6.97, but he's played a lot. By the looks of it, he's probably played in the deeper role. He's probably played as a central midfielder, obviously, because Dele Alli was doing it, but I'm quite happy. I think I could have maybe got more out of Barkley. I think it would work better Barkley would work better in probably a 3-man midfield to give him just a little bit more license, maybe a Mazzala or a central midfielder on attack. One of those 2 roles I think would help him. Highest average rating, Joao Virginia was our backup goalkeeper. Damari Gray has done all right. Good contribution for the bench. I think that's what, if he's going to stay at Everton next year, I think that's what he's going to have to deal with. 8 starts, 4 goals, 3 assists, but 19 as sub. Getting a nice average rating as well of 7.19. Richarlison, Mikalenko's had a good season. Looks like he's probably played more. He's kind of swapped, to be fair. Omar Richards hasn't done so well, but Mikalenko's done okay. Nathan Patterson has come and done okay. Ben Godfrey has come in and played a lot. And a debutant, Ramos Christensen, 7.02 average rating, not bad. I would have probably wanted more assists, only 4 assists. All right, that is the squad. I'm quite happy with that. But there we go, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I think I've done bloody well there. Let me know down in the comments if you agree. I'm liking this tactic. I feel like I'm going to be plugging this tactic into my new Twitch save, which will be starting in a couple of weeks over on Twitch. So make sure you look out for spoilers in my Discord and on my communities page. Thank you very much for watching. Smash a like on today's video. And as I said, let me know your thoughts. Next week, we are rebuilding Newcastle because it's a little bit of fun. Over 100 million to spend, so that will be tasty. And then after that, we're looking at some more suggestions. Juventus, etc. Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. See you later.